Hi, my name is Jody DePauli, and I'm an EAP counselor at Cascade Behavioral Health Direction EAP. Today we're going to be talking about stress. It's a very common word in our society today. I'm so stressed out, I'm so stressed. And in some ways, stress has become a badge of honor that we wear as if it's a positive thing. It means we're important and we're busy and we have lots going on. But unfortunately, stress is actually not good for our mental health or our physical health. So today we're going to talk about some ways to manage it and how to deal with the stressors that happen in life that we can't really change. So the first thing I want you to do is bring to mind some stressors going on in your life right now, things that you're dealing with, maybe conflict with family members or an illness or even a job problem or a situation at work that feels really hard to deal with every day. Sometimes maybe you brought to mind something positive. Maybe someone's getting married, or there's a party you're throwing, or maybe there's a holiday coming up. Those things are all positive things, but they also cause a lot of stress for many people. You know, talk to somebody on December 20th before Christmas, and they're probably pretty stressed out. So, how do we deal with this when it's going to be a necessary and sometimes unavoidable part of life? Well, the first thing is to know the good ways to handle stress and the bad ways that we often tend to handle stress so you can avoid them. The first thing, let's start with what we are not supposed to do. Many people, when they're stressed out, turn to substances to make themselves feel better. For example, alcohol is a big one. It can feel good in the moment to have a drink or two and not have to worry about what's going on. Perhaps it's even more severe with other drug use, or people tend to use food often as a coping mechanism, comfort food. We have the word comfort in it because it does something positive for us. It brings comfort. So we might eat too much, we might drink too much, we might take up smoking, or do even heavier drugs than that, because all of those things bring short-term relief. The problem is they also cause a lot of damage to us. They can hurt our relationships and our bodies, and they're really not a great long-term solution. So avoid those things as much as possible would be the first thing to try. The second thing that people do sometimes is withdraw completely from their friends and family. They isolate themselves. They don't want to engage. They don't want to be social. They just, want to be home alone. And that's not always the best way to handle stress either. It's actually really important to keep spending time with family and friends and to engage socially with other people, because we live in community, and that's actually very healthy for us to have those relationships. So, I just mentioned one thing we should keep doing. I'm going to mention a few other things. Get a good night's sleep. Our sleep is very, very important to our mental health. 7 to 9 hours a night, roughly, for adults is the average to shoot for. Some people need a little less and more, but what you don't want to do is say, well, I can take care of this at 11 o'clock tonight, or I can, do it later, and you put off sleeping to take care of some things that you need to do. That's not the best compromise. So try to keep getting a good night's sleep. As I said, keep socializing, keep doing your activities, keep doing fun things. You need to have a nice balance in your life. Eat healthy food. What we eat and put in our body is very important. There's a lot of scientific research that says eating whole foods and whole grains and natural foods as much as possible, straight from the earth if you can, is actually very good for you physically, which helps your mental health also. As a counselor, I have to recommend counseling. Absolutely everyone can benefit from talking to somebody about their problems. A neutral person who's just there to offer support is very helpful, and it's very calming for the nervous system. People tend to find talking about their problems make them feel better. So if you are having stress and it feels unmanageable, talk to someone. Go see a counselor. Give us a call. We'd be happy to help. And the last one, which is kind of fun if you think about it, is to use your senses. Now, what does that mean? We have 5 senses. Senses, we sure do. And those are, let's start with our first one. We have our sight, we have our hearing, we have our sense of smell and touch, and I'm missing one, taste, yes. So how do we use those to handle stress? Well, let me give you some examples. Let's talk about using our eyes to handle stress. How would we do that? The first thing that we can do is we can look at something that brings us joy. Perhaps it's pictures, a magazine, going to a movie, walking around outside and looking at nature. All of those things can make us happy and can alleviate stress. And the second one is our hearing. A lot of people find music is very soothing and very calming for people. So closing your eyes and listening to nature can be calming. Finding audiobooks to listen to, perhaps podcasts, other ways that you can use your hearing to actually cause you to feel a little calmer and a little bit more centered. Our taste, this is a fun one. There's many things that we can do in a positive way by using our sense of taste to calm ourselves down. If you don't have any sort of eating issues or problems with food, then you can have a bite of chocolate just as a little treat to kind of help you feel better. I recommend dark chocolate, it's better for you. Sometimes people like to make a hot cup of tea. Tea is very soothing and calming. Sometimes people love that hot cup of coffee in the morning. That can alleviate a lot of stress just to, kind of enjoy that. So there's many different ways to do that. I recommend just considering some healthy ways for you to alleviate stress through that sense. Another one is your sense of touch. And this is, I think, one of the ones that people can use the most. Hot baths, hot showers are very helpful when people are stressed out. Being outside in the sunshine, feeling the sun on your body, putting your feet in the earth, taking off your shoes and putting your feet in the grass can be really grounding and centering. Some people will go to the opposite of what I said with the hot, and they like to have a cold drink straight from the fridge, something maybe with bubbles, I don't know. So ice cold drinks can be good. Anything that just sort of is a different feeling. I would totally be drinking. I just said the wrong thing. Anyways, okay, that's all right. We're going to keep going. All right, so any ways that you can use your body to alleviate stress is great. Okay, what was the other sense? I missed one, I'm pretty sure. Smell. Smell is one that people forget about sometimes, but there's actually science behind using scents to calm your nervous system. If you're in the kitchen, smell the vanilla, smell the coffee beans. There's actually truth behind stop and smell the roses. That can actually be very soothing for people in high stress situations. So other examples, people like to say, well, what about petting my dog? Is that a good one? Yes, that's awesome. Petting your dog is great. Using your hands to knit is awesome. Holding someone's hand can be great. Go get a massage. Just anything like that is using your body to alleviate stress. So, okay, all right. So, in conclusion, let's just go over what we've talked about today. The first thing is everyone has stress in their life. There's no way to avoid it. Unfortunately, it's necessary for us as humans. So sometimes stress can be brought on by positive things too. It's not always negative things. So stress is unavoidable. So we all need to learn positive ways to deal with it. Avoid using substances as a short-term solution like alcohol, drugs, food, things like that. Try to stay social with people. Don't isolate yourself. And get out in nature as much as possible and enjoy this beautiful earth that we have. And then just remember, how could I use my senses, these 5 gifts that I have? How could I use them to calm myself down? Could I listen to music, or could I take a walk, or could I take a shower? Those things are much healthier than using negative coping skills. So hopefully this has been helpful for you today, and feel free to call Cascade Behavioral Health. We would love to help you with any issues you're facing, and if it's stress and you need someone to talk to, come on in. Our number is 541-345-2800. Thank you.